All right, here we go into Battle 2 of our 2025 World Championship. Remember, you got to earn 3 points to win the title of World Champion. Ricardo Jean has 1 point. Otze has 0 points, and so every point counts. And guys, this is one of the most memorable matches in the entire tournament. This is one that definitely left me feeling very emotional. So as you're watching, be sure to let me know down below in the comments what you think about this match. If you've ever felt the way our contestants felt, if you've ever had any of the feelings that I'm sure that they're feeling. I'm trying not to spoil this, so I'll just let you watch this and enjoy it. But this is definitely a memorable one. And the model that we used in this match is one of my favorite models from the entire tournament. So I took a copy of that model and I added it to the library at tootalltoby.com, and we made this model totally free for anyone with a tootalltoby account. So sign up at tootalltoby.com, use a free account, and you can model up this tier 6 multi-body, multi-material challenge. See how fast you can do it. Usually I say, see if you could do it faster than our runners, but I don't know if that's really going to be applicable today. Guys, take a look at this video, and as always, let me know down below in the comments what you think about today's CAD vs. CAD battle. Upon us. Are you ready, Connor?
Oh, I'm ready.
I think I'm ready. I think the audience is ready. So here we go. This next CAD versus CAD battle featuring Otze from Macedonia, our number 9 seed using SolidWorks, going up against Ricardo Jean from Italy, our number 2 seed running SolidWorks. Ricardo has 1 point so far. You got to get 3 points to lock up the championship of the world. Here we go. This next CAD versus CAD battle begins in 3, 2, 1. Go! What is the mass of this multi-body part or assembly in XXX? I'm gonna give this to you. In XXX.x grams. The tolerance is plus or minus 0.1 grams. This is a multi-body part. This is a shelf that I saw when we were at PDX in the hotel. They had a shelf like this in the bathroom. There is a note on this thing. You can see that there's a note that says, no Ivan exploit for the hole locations. Countersinks must be located properly. Okay, so no Ivan exploits for the hole locations. Of course, you can Ivan exploit anything else if you want to, but not the hole locations. All right, this is a tricky part, a multi-body, multi-material part. This is our second part here in our World Championship. Both of our runners have already grabbed a screen capture. Both of our runners are already modeling. We can see that Otze is modeling this thing looking down from the top. We see Ricardo Jean. Looks like he's probably doing the same thing, but it's interesting. It looks like he's actually working on the front plane, but sketching up that L shape. So very interesting. Ricardo drawing first blood here. Ricardo on the right from Italy using SolidWorks. Wow. Otze on the left decided to include that radius in that first sketch. I like that approach. Ricardo Jean now creating that little, it kind of like tapers down with a weird radius there in the front of the model. So Ricardo Jean now taking care of that.
I think, I don't know if this has been used in other matchups that I haven't completely watched, but I think this is the first time I've seen a explicit rule against placing.
Yeah, we've had a couple that have we've had a couple of spots where we've said no Ivan exploit. For this one, I just, this part needs to be mounted to the wall in the bathroom, and I want to make sure that they put those countersinks in the right spot. Okay, occasionally we're going to drop that in, especially when we're here at the finals. We don't want to see people like trying to cheese the the location of holes. And plus, we could learn. This is our chance to learn from some of the best, and so we want to see what tips and tricks they use to locate those holes. So we'll see if they just do it with a sketch, or if maybe they've got a special trick up their sleeve. But here's our chance to see it. Ricardo Jean right now, as we're speaking, is going through and adding in those countersinks. Let's see how he does it. So he adds a dimension between them, and he's just going to go just pretty straightforward here. It looks like just going to be adding in some dimensions here. No special tricks or anything. But this is why I wanted him to do it. They got that tiny little edge there you got to select. If you select the point, you would end up with like maybe a straight linear dimension. And so he did have to zoom in and pick that edge, which kind of makes it interesting. And it looks like he did use a little bit of a trick there to get them centered. Hopefully he did get them centered. I even though I was talking about it, I wasn't looking, but hopefully he did get them centered. I think he got them close enough. We're going to let that go.
Yeah, I think it's sometimes funny. We will rant about how like they have these crazy like side tricks that they use for a lot of this stuff, or these crazy processes, and then sometimes we have stuff like this where it's just if it ain't broken, don't fix it.
You just do it normal.
Yeah.
So it looks like now both of our runners have that kind of curved shape on the one half of the model, and we're looking to see what Atse is doing. It's interesting. Atse's got, it looks like he's got a circular pattern feature in the tree, but I'm not sure what exactly he's doing with that circular pattern. And it looks like, meanwhile, Ricardo Jean on the right is just now looking at this entire challenge and trying to come up with a game plan, because, you know, this is the ability to create those wires based on how they're defined. On the drawing, those wires are defined as having a gap. There's a gap between the wires, so it's essentially like a linear distance between the wires. Well, what's the best way to create that geometry? What's the most elegant way to get that geometry into your model and have that geometry be correct? And so that's why we do these challenges. We try to see, you know, really putting these guys to the test and trying to see what method they're going to come up with. So we see Atse started out there by creating a plane, and now he's using control drag to bring that plane back. And so he's going to be now trying to figure out what the appropriate location is for those features. And we see that Ricardo Jean is maybe using, see what he's doing for his approach here. Very interesting. He started out kind of sketching orthogonal, but now it looks like he's kind of trying to figure out what the best way is to get that geometry in place, looking down on this thing from the top. So both of our runners have to come up with a way of solving this thing. I mean, this is what 3D CAD is all about. You know, you're gonna be presented with some information, and you're gonna have to know how to turn that into a 3D model, and that's exactly what these guys are trying to do here with this challenge. It's not always easy, you know. It's not always like here's a plate with 4 counterbores in the corner. Sometimes you have to really kind of think about how you're gonna get that geometry in place, and a lot of times the dimensions are not necessarily the most optimal dimensions for your CAD system, and so you maybe have to figure out some different ways to calculate those locations. So I like what Atse's done here with all these planes. I think that that's probably similar to an approach that I would take, but I like what Ricardo's doing here as well. Kind of just trying to figure out where does this stuff need to be located and mapping it out. We'll see where he goes with it. But it looks like Atse is going to be the first one to actually create some geometry here. You can see that he's gone in there and he's created what we would typically call a path. You'd probably call that like a path if you were working in 3D CAD. And we're going to see what he ends up doing with it. Ooh, looks like he's doing a little bit of copying there of that thing. Okay, interesting. Now, how's he going to get it into the correct spot? That's the question.
Yeah. I think the order of operations for a lot of these, like, much more advanced models, I think that's one of the biggest parts of being a good CAD designer, is just having the experience to know the order to do it. Because I've definitely seen in some of the like earlier tournament matches that aren't the finalists, you'll run into people that like will start up a sketch but then not do it in the optimal way, and it causes them to have so much more work cleaning up.
Yes. And
I think it's neat because like, if you look at the first match that we had, you have Ricardo and Atse just blasting through this entire like the 4 shelf thing. Mm-hmm. But then with this one, you're seeing them take a lot more time just to think about it. And
yeah, in the last match, that shelf thing, it was basically they were coming down the home stretch at this point, 6 minutes in. This one, you can see they're a lot further from the finish line at this point, you know, at the same point. And Matab in the chat saying, I know how frustrated they are feeling. Yeah. And the creation of these features, you know, it's also going to be based on the drawing. And I know that, you know, a lot of times the drawings that I provide are kind of, we have to do what we can with the space that we have on the drawing. And so they're not always going to be like exactly to an ISO standard or an ANSI standard. But the thing you want to remember is that like, that's how engineering is. A lot of times you're going to get a hand sketch, a napkin sketch, you know, and you have to kind of figure out and interpret how to turn that. Or maybe you'll see like a real world part and you want to try to figure out how to interpret that back into a SolidWorks model. You know, like I said, I saw this physical part when we were at the hotel when we went to PDX a couple weeks ago, and I thought to myself like, well, how would you actually model that in 3D CAD? You know, and that's what it's really all about, is being able to look at just about anything in the world and know, you know, right away how you would take that thing, whatever that thing is, and turn it into a 3D model. And it's a big part of what we learn in the Too Tall Toby community, and I think that we're seeing a couple of guys here who are real masters at that skill.
Yeah.
Matab in the chat says, looks like Atse has more work done. Yeah. Let's see if Ricardo look at Ricardo using a 3D sketch in SolidWorks. So you can see that Atse decided to create some planes, and he's doing most of his work in 2D sketch mode, which I think is usually a little bit easier, a little bit more intuitive. But Ricardo using 3D sketch mode, and now look at Atse. It looks like he's been able to construct all those paths, which Ricardo is still running down here. Now, is he going to have to create a circle for each of those, and then bring that circle over? Nope. Looks like in SolidWorks, he's using the option for circular path, circular profile, and he's just using that and then picking the sketch. Wow, he's going to make short work of these things if he's able to just keep using that tool. You'll notice he's also using a shortcut to repeat the previous command. That's one that I think is really important to learn that workflow. These types of like over and over and over again types of applications are things that really come up often in 3D CAD, and learning how to quickly cycle through them can be a real nice time saver, which we see him doing here. He's not rotating the view. He's not zooming in and out. He's got like a perfect view where he can just do all this work and kind of do it in batch. And that is a really important skill when you're working. Matab in the chat saying enter key for the win. Yeah, exactly. You just press enter to get that to repeat. And so that's a really important skill to learn. And now we see it looks like Atse is kind of coming down the home stretch. Now look at this. He's using an auto dimension to define the height location for these hole wizard holes, and then another auto dimension to define the horizontal location just using construction lines. And that's going to set him up now to go into hole wizard. Look how quickly he was able to get those located. That's the kind of shortcuts that I'm talking about. That is a really cool shortcut. And so now look at how quickly he's laid out the geometry for these hole wizard holes. He knows exactly where they need to be positioned now, and he just did that using a sketch and auto dimensions instead of doing it the way Matab did it, where he kind of manually went in and added those dimensions. I really like that workflow, and I'm so thankful that Atse showed us that here in the live stream. So cool. So now he's going to try and get that geometry over. Oh, look at that. He had a plane going down through the middle. Ooh. So Atse was able to mirror that across. Wow, this is a real clinic on shortcuts here. This is really, really cool to watch. Very, very impressive. Yeah, I agree with what Sven is saying in the chat there. And Maramu is saying, what a nail-biting finish. Yeah, this is really, really getting close here. And so we're now watching to see what else is needed to be done here. We're kind of watching to see what Atse is doing here. I'm not actually sure what's going on with this feature. I'm a little, maybe there was something, there was like extra geometry that he didn't realize he had, or I'm not exactly sure what's going on here.
Maybe he's double checking.
Maybe double checking. Yeah. Making sure that he's got
everything in the right spot.
Yeah.
This is one of the unusual matches you see, especially among these two, where normally you just see them, like I said before, in the first match, they do the first half and you don't think anything's happening, and in the second half, everything's happening. But it looks like with this one, it's very slow and steady kind of design from both of them.
This is really interesting. I'm not really sure what Atse is up to here. I'm not sure if he's trying to split the models. It looked like he was really cruising along there. I'm also a little worried now. I saw he got that SolidWorks spinning ring of death, that would be catastrophic here if that was the case. Oh no!
Oh, is he freezing up?
It says he's saying that he's freezing.
Oh no!
Oh no! This is the worst case scenario. Oh, man. All right, we're going to watch the chat. Ricardo Jean comes in with an answer, 197.15 grams, and that is not correct. That is not correct within tolerance. 197.15 grams. That is not correct within tolerance. And Atse, we're watching Atse. We're watching the chat. We're watching his screen. Atse was on such a good run there, and this is absolutely catastrophic. And guys, this is real world. I mean, we've all seen we've all been in the situation where you're running in SolidWorks for a while, you haven't saved in a while, and you go to do something, and then SolidWorks crashes, and it's really unfortunate. Yeah, bad advertisement for SolidWorks, says RIT. Yeah, really, really unfortunate. And okay,
should have had SolidWorks.
Is he back? Is he? Oh wait, or is this somebody else's screen? I think we just let's see here. No, he's not back. That's Ricardo's screen. That's Ricardo's screen. So he actually dropped from the chat as well. He dropped from the meeting. So we're going to keep an eye on the meeting, but we're going to let Ricardo keep running. But right now, it's actually Ricardo that is on that other screen. I'm trying to see if I can get Ricardo to show up back on the first screen. But Ricardo is actually, let me see if I move this over just for now.
Looks like a computer crash from Atse's
maybe a computer crash. Maybe he did a full restart. So we're trying to see what we can do to get Atse back in here. We're keeping an eye on. I mean, he's still in the meeting, but he's not showing his screen. Yeah, should have had a solid box, says Castlehoff. Yeah, we agree with that. And man, Ricardo Jean's still going through. Ricardo Jean's still trying to come up with the correct answer. We see that Matab says, I wonder if he saved the model. We're waiting to see what's going on with Atse. But
so
man, so unlucky. Matab says, yeah. Device Green Anon says, what is a solid box? Solid box is a fantastic solution for CAD professionals as far as CAD hardware goes, computers, laptops, servers. Check them out at mysolidbox.com. They're one of the sponsors of this tournament. And with Atse crashing, that we're having a little tongue in cheek here, having a little fun. But Javilia saying hopefully he's got a recovery file. Yeah, you can go into your options, Atse. You can look in auto recover. We're gonna do a little on the fly tech support here, Connor.
Yep.
You can look at your options for your location for your auto recover file. If you do have one, you can rename it to a .sldprt, and that will let you actually open that file if it doesn't open up in the bin. But interestingly, Atse is still in the meeting, in the web meeting, but his screen is not shown. I think that he's trying to maybe get SolidWorks back up and running. Wow.
So
I mean, it's good that this is a best of 3. But guys, don't forget, Ricardo has not yet earned the point. There's something going on with Ricardo's setup that has got him stuck. And if Ricardo doesn't answer it, maybe we'll give Atse a clock of doom and we'll give him a 5-minute speed run and see if he can still get it. JK Cam says his boss walked into the office and he had to alt tab. Oh yeah,
been there.
We've been there. Yeah, that's we've been there for sure. Complex model for SolidWorks. I hope this isn't considered a complex model. SolidWorks is like 30 years old. Yeah, I think they should be able to handle this, but maybe you're right.
You never know.
clearly, it is struggling with this. So, yeah. Yep, we're getting a lot of feedback here in the chat about what we think about SolidWorks stability.
Good thing this isn't Yelp.
We've all been there, yeah.
He was on such a good run too.
He was on a good run, but you know what? It's not over yet. Like I said, it's not over, and Atse is a fantastic competitor, and we're going to let this thing play out. We're going to see what happens. Looks like we're back to 300 viewers, so right now what's happening, if you're just tuning in, Atse was closing down on the correct answer, or at least on an answer, and unfortunately his SolidWorks crashed, and when his SolidWorks crashed, that knocked him out of the match, and we're waiting to see if he comes back in. Meanwhile, Ricardo Jean is trying to come up with the correct answer, and Ricardo Jean comes up with his second answer, and his second answer here is 192.447 grams, and that is not correct. Ooh. I'm sorry, Ricardo Jean, that is not correct. And so we're still waiting here to see what's going on with Atse. But I think what we're going to do is we are going to bring up the clock of doom. Yep, we are going to bring up the clock of doom here just to, Atse's been a friend of the channel for a long time. And we want to make sure that he has a chance here to get in. But the problem is Atse's not even in the meeting right now. And so I just want to kind of, if he's like getting SolidWorks rebooted or anything.
Atse said that he's in here in the chat.
He isn't here in the chat. Is that what you said?
Yeah, up there. I am here.
I am here. Okay, good. So we just need to get his screen sharing, and we need to see what he's up to. It says he's in the chat. Atse, if you can take a second and share your screen, we will bring up the clock of doom, and we're going to give you a proper go at this thing. But he is back here in the chat. And Ricardo Jean has answered twice incorrectly. This is the World Championship of 3D CAD speed modeling that we're watching here. We're just waiting for Atse to show his screen so that we're going to bring up the clock of doom as well. Atse is saying that he's in, so let's go ahead and just bring it up. The clock of doom. And here it is, the clock of doom. And it looks like, yep, Atse was able to get his screen showing again. So nice. let's show Atse over here on the correct side. Let's see where he is. Oh boy,
I got
he's
450.
back at the beginning, and he's got 4 minutes and 50 seconds. And guys, this is going to be really interesting to watch. He's gonna truly be speed modeling here against the clock of doom. We're gonna put Ricardo Jean's screen up here on this side. Clock of doom is up and running, and this is the World Championship of 3D CAD speed modeling. And good luck to Ricardo. We're trying to move this out of the way so we can see what's going on.
Yeah. We got SolidWorks. We got LiquidWorks. So now all we need is VenomWorks.
VenomWorks.
We can get Big Works. If you guys get my reference, you get my reference.
And let's bring up the print here as well. So if anybody's watching from home, they can kind of keep an eye on what's happening, keep an eye on the action. But wow, guys, this is a really cool part. Not an easy part, and good luck. Good luck to our one remaining runner. The way that this contest works is that if you answer twice incorrectly, you are no longer able to answer and earn a point, but the other person still has to earn the point. So we bring up what we call the Clock of Doom.
Yes.
And with the Clock of Doom up now, it's going to be up to Otse to see if he can assemble this thing in just 3 minutes and 44 seconds. And wow, he's had a chance to do it once, so he should have, at least he's got his game plan worked out. But wow, guys, this is intense.
Yeah. Gasworks and Plasmaworks. I was actually making a Metal Gear reference, but Gasworks and Plasmaworks, I guess, would be the two other works that we could have.
Yeah. Wow. And Otse taking a slightly different approach this time. He looks like he's just kind of blasting through, trying to get a usable end point there that he's going to be, ultimately probably putting his center points upon. I think that's probably what he's going to be doing here. It's kind of interesting now that it's just Otse, it gives us the ability to kind of talk a little bit more freely about strategy. So this is pretty cool. So really interesting to see how he's doing this and what exactly he's trying to accomplish.
It's also, I think this might be a unique scenario where we have a runner with the knowledge of foresight, because I don't know if it was the correct one, but he almost had it completely done. So maybe this is when he was restarting SOLIDWORKS, a faster way of designing it. But yeah, it's going to be really interesting watching this.
It's going to be interesting. This is going to be a tough one. And this is tough. This is tough. And so Ricardo Jean has answered twice incorrectly. Otse ended up having a crash a little bit earlier. So if you're just tuning in, this is the World Championship of 3D CAD Speed Modeling. You have to earn 3 points to win the World Championship. And we've been looking at this challenge for the past 20 minutes. We've got 2 minutes left on the Clock of Doom, and it's going to be up to Otse to try to figure out a way to model this thing. It looks like he's actually taken a very interesting approach here. He definitely changed his approach on this thing, but very interesting approach here, guys. If you're enjoying these types of challenges, if you're enjoying watching these guys, be sure to hit the like button. I saw earlier in the chat somebody was asking about the Practice Models website. That website is tootalltoby.com. We've got a Practice Models app where you can practice models very similar to this one. In fact, last month, October, and this next coming month, November, we're going to be adding challenges from the championship to the library, including these finalist challenges. So you can check us out at tootalltoby.com, sign up for the library. But wow, look at what Otse did there. He really created a path where he's going to be able to sweep these. This is so interesting. I wish he had more time on the clock. But this is really an interesting. Is there a leaderboard for the practice models? Absolutely. Multiple leaderboards, speed modeling leaderboards, top 100 leaderboards, points earned leaderboards. It truly is the gamification of 3D CAD. So check it out for sure. Javilla 98.
Oh my gosh, I am glued to the screen.
57 seconds left. We're going to see. Dan Eldred says, good effort. Guys, there's still time. We're going to see what happens.
Otse is one of our top runners. If anyone would be able to pull this off, it'd be Otse or Ricardo.
Yes, exactly. I agree. Jimmy Jibba Jibba says, can we wait for him to finish anyway? We want to see what ends up happening here. Oh, man.
Gosh.
Oh, man.
I don't even know how to commentate with 25 seconds left on the clock.
So close. The Clock of Doom is cruel. And the rules are the rules.
Yeah.
Okay, anybody who was at PDX knows rules are rules. If you were at PDX this year, be sure to put a shout out in the chat. Put a PDX in the chat. Let us know that you were there. Here we go, guys. 10 seconds left on the Clock of Doom. Fluxbench was there. That's James, right? All right, guys, that's it. The Clock of Doom has expired, and I'm sorry, Otse, but you are not going to be able to earn the point for that challenge. But wow, what a good matchup. What an interesting matchup. And guys, this is a chance for all you in the audience who are modeling these things along with our runners to truly flex. And let's see if you were able to get it. This is your chance to type in the chat and let us know what you think the answer was. And so Rambro's Workshop, our world champion of 3D CAD speed modeling, types in his answer, 193.7. That is not correct.
Ooh.
That is not correct. And Lotos from Ukraine running Compass 3D 194.6. That is not correct with Intolerance, but it is very close.
Very close.
Very, very close. And let's see here. We got Let's see here. Honor Tercer coming in with his answer 194.5, also very close but not correct. And Sebastian coming in with his answer 194.6, also very close but not correct. Lots of people coming in with that answer. 197.57, also very close but not correct. Guys, the correct answer is 194.8. So guys, very, very close. But maybe a location of the challenge with these types of prints, the challenge that people run into is the way that things are dimensioned can sometimes be a little bit confusing. Like the 142 here is coming to the front of that wire. It's coming to the very front of that wire. The distance for the distance between those wires is actually the gap between those wires. So a lot of times you have to remember to put in that extra little amount of information. Like the 40 dimension going down to the bottom is a dimension not to the center of that wire, but it's to the bottom of that wire, and that is definitely what ends up causing the problems. And we have a note here in the chat. It says Javimula88 was within tolerance. Let's take a look. Let's go back. We'll recognize if that's the case. 194.6, 194.8. It's plus or minus 0.1.